So dear student, I Rakesh Jain from Gambia University. Today I am going to teach you about the electric field intensity, electric field intensity due to point charge, electric potential, electric potential due to point charge, and the electric field lines. After the completion of this lecture, you will be able to understand what is the difference between electrostatic force, that is Coulomb's force, which we have already been studied, and the electric field intensity. What is the relationship between them? What is the relationship between electric potential and electric field intensity? And how we can calculate, how we can derive the electric field intensity and electric potential for a point charge? Whenever two unlike charges placed together, then what kind of electric lines will be produced there? For the positive charge, how they produce, for the negative charge, how the electric field lines produce. So we will begin our journey. So just to see this MS Paint file where I will going to start about the topic. So this is our MS Paint file. Okay. So first of all, I just mentioned today's day, that is 28th June 2020. Let's see the topic, that is electric field intensity. What is the electric field intensity? Electric field intensity is actually experienced by a charge which is placed at a point. So the electric field intensity is the force experienced by a charge placed at that point. Okay, so I just write down the basic definition. It is a vector quantity actually. It is related with the force such that E is inversely proportional to the charge and proportional to the force. So we can say E is equal to F by Q. So electric field intensity is a vector quantity. It means it includes the direction. Vector quantity. It is the force experienced by a charge, a unit charge you can say, experienced by a unit charge. So electric field intensity at a point, it is at a point, yes. So electric field intensity, what is the electric field intensity? Electric field intensity is actually a vector quantity, which is a force experienced by a unit charge at that point. So electric field intensity is actually given as, because it is a vector quantity, so we have to put just an arrow sign that show you that it is a vector quantity. So electric field intensity, this arrow shows that it is a vector quantity. So electric field intensity is actually equal to force divided by that charge which experienced that force. The direction of the electric field is same as the direction of force. The direction of the electric field is same as the direction of force. What I want to say, let's suppose you have a charge Q. Okay, so the force towards that point charge Q, towards that charge, is definitely, it is related with the Coulomb's law, and we have already been studied about the Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is what? Whenever 2 point charge is separated at a distance r, then there is some, let's suppose you have 2 point charges. Let's suppose these are 2 point charges which are separated from each other with a distance r. Let this is a point charge, that is Q, and this is a test charge, let's suppose Q0. You can use as Q1, Q2 also, anything. So let's suppose you have two charges. One is point charge Q, and second one is a test charge Q0. There is not so much difference between a point charge and a test charge. A test charge is that in which we want to calculate something. Because today our topic is electric field intensity. That's why here in the definition I just wrote that at a point is mentioned. Electric field intensity is a vector quantity. At a point, it is the force experienced by unit charge at that point. At that point. So I mentioned the point word. So that's why it is a point charge. It means I am talking about this charge. So what is I want to calculate that what is the electric field intensity at this test charge Q0. That's why I just separate the name point charge, test charge, nothing else. Actually, point charge and test charge are differ a little bit. Like point charge is greater, larger compared with the test charge. Okay. So let's suppose there are two charges, one is Q and one is Q0, which are separated with a distance R. So I just want to say that due to this point charge, some force is towards this. So there is some force which act in between them, and this force is given according to the Coulomb's law as F is equal to 1 upon 4 by epsilon 0, or we can say F is equal to K, that is 9 multiplied by 10 to the power 9. K Q1 Q2. Instead of Q1 Q2, I just mentioned the name as Q, and second one is Q0 here, divided by the square of the distance between them. And here if the distance is F is equal to KQ divided by Q0 upon R square. F is force is also a vector quantity, because I denote here the direction that from point charge Q to the test charge towards the test charge Q0. That's why I mentioned the direction. That's why I just write down as a vector quantity, and force is always a vector quantity. Here I wrote that the direction of the electric field is the same as the direction of force. It means on this test charge Q0, the direction of electric field is in the same direction where the force direction is. And force direction as mentioned in front of you from left to right, from Q to Q0. That's why the field E direction is also Q to Q0. So this is electric field intensity, which I taught you. Okay. In which the force is given as this. In which the force is given as this one. So just put this value of force in that electric field intensity. So electric field intensity, which is a vector quantity, it means it will denote the direction. So E is equal to K Q1 Q2. K is 1 upon 4 by epsilon 0, or in mathematical term you can say 9 multiplied by 10 to the power 9. So F is equal to K Q1 Q2. Instead of Q1 Q2, here we put the name as Q0 divided by R square. This is force. This is force. Now divided by. Here it is mentioned that electric field intensity, I am talking about this formula. Electric field intensity due to a point charge E is equal to force divided by Q. Now what is the definition? It is the force. See very carefully the derivation. It is the force experienced by a charge or a unit charge at that point. I want to calculate the electric field intensity at the charge Q0. It means we have to divide this by Q0. In the formula, I write down for any charge, that is Q. But here, I just separate the word as Q and Q0. For example, if let's suppose these charges are Q1 and Q2, Q1 and Q2. If let's suppose these charges are Q1 and Q2, and I just want that to calculate the electric field intensity at Q2 charge, okay, then this formula of electric field intensity will becomes E is equal to the force experienced by that charge Q2, that is K Q1 Q2 upon R square, divided by itself, divided by the charge Q. Okay, so here, so according to this, here there are 2 point charges. One is mentioned as Q, the second one is mentioned as Q0, and I want to find out the electric field intensity at Q0. That's why in the formula I have to write down E is equal to F divided by Q0. So it will becomes my formula, and according to this formula, when I put the value of force from this, K Q0 upon R square divided by Q0. So what will happen? The Q0 to Q0 term will be cancelled. So what we will find out? We will find out that E is equal to KQ divided by R square. KQ divided by R square. Okay. If the charges positioning is denoted by some point, let's suppose this point is A, where the point charge Q is available, and this position is, let's suppose, B, where the test charge Q0. Test charge means on which I want to find something. Both are charges, point charges, but I just separate their names by point charge and test charge, because test charge is because it experienced the force. It means the other charge put a pressure on it, which put a force on it. It means it is a little bit low compared with the point charge. That's why I just did not name test charge, because I want to find out electric field intensity on this charge. So this is a testable charge. So this is a test charge. Okay. So Q0. That's why the electric field intensity E is equal to F. That is Q0 divided by R square. Further divided by the overall thing divided by the test charge, that is Q0. So Q0 to Q0 cancel out, and it is KQ upon R square. Let's suppose the point charge was position was at position A, point A, and the test charge Q0 position was at B. So because I wrote that electric field intensity is the vector quantity, I wrote that it is a vector quantity. It means it consists some direction over there, and direction is denoted by this E is equal to KQ. We finally find out electric field intensity formula for a point charge, that is KQ divided by R square. Now to show the direction, we can write down either along the B, along point B. We can either write down along point B, because point B is the position of the test charge. Otherwise, you can write down R cap that show the direction. It is R cap is nothing. It is a unit quantity whose value is equal to 1. So nothing will be happen with the basic formula. Actually, the formula is E is equal to KQ divided by R square, and here R cap just to show the direction. Okay, we start from A point towards B. That's why this show you the direction. Okay, it is actually 1. The quantity is 1. It is a unit quantity parameter, that is 1. So nothing to happen with the basic formula. So electrical intensity due to point charge is derived now. Electrical intensity due to point charge is E is equal to KQ upon R square. So your topic was electric field intensity. It means the definition of electric field intensity. It is a vector quantity, and it is experienced by at a point by a charge. Okay, it is experienced by a point, by a charge at a point. Which thing it experienced? It experienced a force. That's why the standard definition is at a point it is the force experienced by a unit charge. Okay, and the basic formula is E is equal to F upon Q0. I write down the formula because the formula will be changed according to the name of those charges or the abbreviation of those charges. If they are Q1, Q2, and you want to find out the electric field intensity at Q2, right, then it will be E is equal to F upon Q2. So this E is equal to KQ upon R square R cap, or we can say E is equal to KQ upon R square along point B is the electric field intensity due to point charge. This is the derivation of electric field intensity due to point. Now, after this, I am going to teach you about, wait for a while. So now I am going to teach you about the electric field lines. Electric field lines are actually the imaginary straight or curved line. I just write down first of all the date again, and then we will start. Electric field lines. electric field. So electric field lines are actually the imaginary straight or curved line. Okay. In any electric field, the charge experienced. Okay. The direction of the electric field lines are from positive charge to negative charge. Keep in your mind always that the direction of electric field line are always from positive charge to negative charge. Okay, from the positive charge towards negative charge. So I just write down the basic law of electric field lines, that electric field lines are actually is the imaginary straight or curved line. Electric field lines are imaginary. Straight or curved lines. So these are actually straight or curved line, but both imaginary. It is related to a unit charge tends to move in an electric field. It is related with the electric field lines are actually related with electric field lines are related with, these are actually related with, electric field lines are related with unit charge in any electric field. Okay. So the direction of these electric field lines are from positive charge towards the negative charge. Electric field lines are related with the unit charge in any electric field or tends to move. So these are actually related with the any charge, related with any charge that is available in electric field. So whenever it will move, why it can move? Because we know that charges are of there are two polarity type of charges, positive charges and negative charges, and we know that definitely there are some attraction or repulsion due to the Coulomb's law. So it means whenever charges are placed in the electric field, they experienced some forces, either it is attraction force or either it is repulsion force. Due to those movement of charges, electric field lines generates automatically. They are imaginary. They may be straight. They may be curved. So the direction of these electric field lines, I just write down the direction of the electric field lines from, you should keep in your mind positive charge towards negative charge. The direction of the electric field lines are from positive charge towards negative. This is very important, that the direction of the electric field lines are from positive charge towards negative charge. Now we just see the electric field lines. Okay, different kind of electric field lines. Okay, so the first case is, let's suppose when Q is greater than 0. Q is my charge. Q is my charge. Q is my charge. Let's suppose I have only one charge, that is Q, and it is greater than 0. Whenever we say anything greater than 0, it means that is positive or negative? Definitely that will be positive. It means my charge is positive. It means my charge is positive. So it means I am talking about the positive charge. So let's suppose this is a positive charge. Okay. Because it is positive, it means greater than 0, and I want to see the electric field lines. And according to the law, I know that electric field lines direction is always from positive charge towards negative charge. It is a positive charge, it means there is some negative charge. Whenever there is some negative charge, the electric field lines are from positive charge to negative charge. It means the directions are, let's suppose here it is available, here it is available. These are imaginary lines, let's suppose. These are imaginary lines. They are electric field lines, in which we should put the arrow sign towards the external side. Why? Because this is positive charge. So definitely whenever a negative charge is experienced, definitely the direction of those field lines are towards that negative charge from this positive charge. So these are the electric field lines for the positive charge, because Q is greater than 0. It means Q quantity is positive. So it is a positive charge. That's why the electric field lines start from this towards the negative charge. Here not availability of any negative charge. That's why in any direction, whenever negative charge is there, definitely the field lines direction is from positive charge towards that charge. That's why I write down the direction externally. I show the direction via the aggregation of arrow sign for externally. Now the second case is when Q is less than T. When Q is less than 0. Whenever anything is less than 0, it means it is negative. So I am talking about the charge. It means I have a negative charge, because less than 0 means negative charge. So let's suppose I have a negative charge and I just want to find out the electric field lines. And I know there is no charge available near to it, positive or negative, so we don't know. But because this is negative charge and I know that the low stat, that the electric field lines direction should be from positive charge towards the negative charge. Okay, it is negative charge. It means the electric field lines direction are towards itself, towards itself. So definitely the electric field lines for this negative charge. So the direction of those lines are this direction. So these are electric field lines for positive charge and for negative charge. Now we want to see that electric field lines for the unlike charges. Unlike charges means opposite polarity charges. So electric unlike charges. And this right now unlike charges. We can say unlike charges means one charge is positive and second charge is negative. Then what kind of electric field lines will be generated? The opposite polarity charges, whenever placed, they are known as a dipole. They are known as dipole. The meaning of dipole means double polarity. Di means two, means two things. Pole means polarity. Polarity means positive polarity and negative polarity. They are positive and negative are termed as polarity. So two polarity, it means one two opposite polarity means dipole. Okay. So whenever unlike charges are placed, then what kind of electric field lines will be generated? So let's suppose I have a charge plus Q and the second charge I have is negative. So definitely I know as the rule state, as the standard thing is that the direction of the electric field lines are from positive charge towards the negative charge. So positive charge is this one and negative charge is that one. It means the direction is like this one, from positive to negative. All the field lines which are imaginary or curved, they are straight or curved. That's why I draw the straight line also, I draw the curved line. Everywhere there is some field lines because there are none other charges, but we know that field lines are produced from this positive charge external in external direction, because positive to negative rule, and due to this negative charge towards the negative charge is the rule. That's why towards the negative charge. So these are electric field lines for the unlike charges. For the unlike charges. Okay. Now we used to see some more cases. So I just remove these now. Now let's suppose you have two equal charges. Two equal charges. Two equal charges. Let's suppose you have equal charges, let's suppose equal charges. Okay, let's suppose you have two charges. One is Q1 and one is Q2. One is Q1 and one is Q2. Both are equal to each other. One is Q1, one is Q2. And I just write down this bar sign also. It means the polarity is same. Polarity is same, quantity is same. Okay, then what will happen? So let's suppose this is a positive or negative. You can take any one, but both are of same thing. So let's suppose this is a positive charge plus Q1, and this one is a positive charge plus Q2. We know that always the charge direction is from positive charge to negative charge, but whenever it comes here, it will automatically repel because they cannot be combined to each other. Because both are same charges, same quantity, same polarity, so it will be. So this is the direction of the same kind of charges. And all the direction are externally because both are positive charges. So definitely the direction of those field lines are external. So these are the electric field lines direction, electric force line direction. You can see electric field lines of force line for the equal charges. Okay. Let's suppose both the charges are of same polarity, but the quantity is different. One charge is greater than the other charges. Then what will happen? So see the next case. When just write down here. When Q1 is, let's suppose, greater than Q2, then what will happen? Then polarity is same. Polarity is same, but the quantity of Q1, the power of Q1, we can say in rough language. So Q1 is greater. Both polarity is same. Both are equal, not equal. Q1 is greater than Q2. Then what will happen? So we know that both polarity is same. So let's suppose this is a positive charge Q1, which is greater than this charge Q2, which is also positive. Okay, then what will happen? So the field line, because both are positive, definitely they will not meet. But the line, the now the length of the electric field line for Q1 is greater compared with the Q2 because Q2 is of lower than Q1. These are electric field lines because Q1 electric field line's length is long because Q1 is greater compared with Q2. But lines are in the same as the previous because both are equal polarity charges. So that's all about the electric field lines. Now we have to see the electric potential. What is the electric potential? And what is the electric potential due to a point charge? Now see this one. Next one. So I just remove this slide and we are going. Now my main topic is electric potential and electric potential due to a point charge. So electric potential, it is denoted by V. It is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity. It is denoted by V. So I just write down this thing over here. Electric potential is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar, means direction is not included. So it is a scalar quantity. It is denoted by V. Its V is the abbreviation for the potential. voltage, let's say. So it is actually whenever we wish to move any charge from one point towards the another point, then some work has to be done. Okay. Opposite to the electric field, then that is termed as electric potential. That is termed as electric potential. What I want to say, it is a scalar quantity which is denoted by V. Whenever we want to move any charge from one point, one reference point to the another point, then electric potential is opposite to the electric field. So that is actually related with the work done. What I want to say, I just write down in the statement. It is the amount of work needed to move a unit charge from one reference point. You can take any reference point. Let infinity is the reference point. Let a charge is placed at the infinity, and you wish to move that infinity charge at point at P. Okay. Then what is the work done in between them? That is related with electric potential. So electric potential is the amount of work needed to move a unit charge from reference point to a specific point. From a reference point specific against opposite against the electric field. What I want to say, I just put this thing here. Now see very carefully. Electric potential is what? Electric potential is denoted by V generally. It is a scalar quantity. It is the amount of work needed to move a point charge from reference point, from any reference point, from one reference point to a specific point against the electric field. Against the electric field. What I want to say. Let's suppose one charge is my Q. And it is placed at a reference point A at a distance x, at a distance x. What I want to see, at a distance x, let's suppose there is another charge at point B, that is Q0. Here instead of r, if I can use any distance, instead of r I use the distance x, because I want to use that specific distance r to move the point charge from a position to any other position, so that you will understand the potential V. So I just separate the x also as a distance, r also as a distance. So don't be confused. Let's suppose two charges are there, Q and Q0. I wish to move that charge Q from which is placed at the reference point A, from A to any other position. I just I know that in between these two charges, yes. So these are two charges. One is Q and one is Q0. Okay. Let I wish to move the charge from A point to this P point. I want to move this charge from A point to P point, which is separated at a distance r from x. Then according to the definition, what is the electric potential? Electric potential is denoted by V. And I write down that it is against the electric potential is the work which is needed to move the point charge which is placed at a point A, reference point. Want to move this charge Q from that reference point to the new point, that is P point, which is separated at a distance r. So, against the electric field means minus sign will be there, that show you that it is opposite to electric field. because I write down it is opposite to electric field. So electric field is denoted by E, that was a vector quantity. And I want to move this from a distance from a particular position to another position. Okay. So what is the work done in between those two positions? That is the actual work. Okay. For example, if I want to be a participant of a race competition, then there should be my initial position definitely. So whenever the quiz start, whenever the race start, I have to move from that position to the specific position, which will show that I will win or I will lose. Okay. So in between that reference point, the starting position and the last position, whatever the energy I will put to win the race is the actual work done by me. Okay, definitely. Here, point charge is placed at a particular position A. I wish to move this point charge from A to any other position. It means I have to know about these two locations. I have to know about these two locations. So that's why we have to combine all the energy. I have to find out all the average energy which is required. So integration sign will be there. So the lower limit is the starting point, starting position, and the upper one is the final position. So whenever integration is there, there should be some differentiation of the term. So here differentiation of the term of R, because R is the distance between the point A and P. Okay. So this is the formula for any 2 points, in between any 2 points which are denoted as A or B, to find out the electric potential. Now let's suppose I want to find out the electric potential. Let's suppose I want to move this charge from infinitive position to a particular position, and the distance is, sorry, here I have to put dx, E dot dx, because I put the charges as at a distance x. So what is the electric field? First of all, what is the electrostatic force between these two charges? First of all, see this one very carefully. That is K q0 divided by r square. I just to show you that why I put there q0 divided by r square. Why I put instead of dr dx? Why I change? So I am talking about. So q0 upon r square. Okay. So what is the electric field intensity E? According to the rule, E is equal to F upon the charge on which you find out the which experience the force, or on which you will find out, you want to find out the electric field intensity. So that is F upon Q0, as I have already been taught you few minutes ago. So it will be now K Q0 upon R square upon Q0. So Q0 to Q0 cancel out. So definitely it will be F KQ upon, here instead of R square we have X square, and force also consists X square. Because I denote the direction by X, they denote the distance between the Q and Q0 by X. That's why F is equal to Q0 upon distance square. What is the distance? Distance in between point charge Q to the test charge Q0 is denoted by X. That's why I have to put distance square as X square. So F is equal to Q0 divided by X square. Definitely the electric field intensity at Q0 will be E is equal to F upon Q0, that is Q0 upon X square divided by Q0. So Q0 to Q0 cancel out, and you will find out KQ upon X square. So now if we put in this formula, let's suppose this point A is denoted by infinity, let's suppose, and this is any point which is separated at a distance r. So we can say, let's suppose the race start from 0 point, and if I say, see this example, infinity or 0, if someone talking you that it is infinity or it is a point which is denoted by 0, and some person will reach here, and the total distance between 5, okay, 5 meter, then what is this distance? Definitely it is 5. Okay, I have no rupee and now I have 10 rupee. So what is the distance between the previous rupee and now current rupees? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the change is 10, and the new thing is 10. Both are same. So the starting position is 0 and infinity, and because it cover 5 meter distance, it means the destination is placed at 5. Okay. So let's suppose, so the starting point I denoted by infinity, and let's suppose I just move it at a particular point which is at a distance r. So E is kq upon x square. See very carefully. If you have any confusion, then you will ask me after the completion of this lecture. E is equal to kq upon x square dot. Here, why I write down the dx instead of dr? Because this dx or any term in the integration with the differentiation comes, that is changeable thing. That is changeable thing. E consists k value, that is not a changeable value, that is a fixed value, that is 9 multiplied by 10 to the power 9. This Q is a charge value, 3 coulomb, 4 coulomb, 5 coulomb, but the quantity is fixed. We cannot change. So Q is also fixed. What is the third thing? The third thing is only the distance. Only this is changing. Only this is changing. And we denote this distance by x. That's why I have to write down as a dx instead of dm. You can also use here as r. If you use that q and q0 are two charges which are separated at a distance r, then no problem. You can write down E as kq upon r square and dx as dr, no problem. But in the integration sign, you should denote some other thing instead of r. So let's suppose the initial position in infinitive, and where I want to move that point charge from that initial position infinitive to any position, let's suppose at a distance x, then in the integration, the lower limit should be infinity and the upper limit should be x. So you can use any term. Don't be confused with the r and x. They are both are distance. So now see very carefully this integration. I just remove this diagram so that some space will be created, and I will write it. I will again repeat after the completion of this thing. So if you have any confusion related to this, we will solve that confusion. Okay. So now we have to solve this integration. See very carefully. So it is minus k and q are constant. That's why they are integration. Now there is a rule. Let's suppose you want to find out the integration of 1 upon y square. Okay, there is a rule with respect to y itself. Then it is equal to minus 1 by y. And then you have to put the lower limit and upper limit. Okay, this is the rule. So here 1 upon x square with respect to x. That's why it will be minus 1 by x. And then upper limit and lower limit. Lower limit is infinity because that show you the starting position, and upper limit is r. The distance start from 0 or infinity, any position, and reach up to the r specific point that cover a distance r. So minus to minus will be cancelled out. It will become p. So k. Now in bracket only x will be remain, in which I have to put first the upper limit, that is r, then minus lower limit, that is infinity. So I just put this thing. So this is, we are going to do the derivation of electric potential. I am going, what we see the electric potential derivation due to point charge. So V is equal to plus K2. See very carefully. First the upper limit at the place of x. So instead of x, it will now becomes r, minus lower limit at the position of x. So that is infinity. X is infinity. And there is a rule that 1 upon infinity is always 0. There is a rule. Remember 1 upon infinity or 2 upon infinity, anything. But whenever infinity is in denominator, that will always equal to 0. So that will be plus kq divided by only r will be remaining. Here no term of f, no term of e. K is a constant, 9 multiplied by 10 to the power 9. Q is a charge whose quantity is constant, 2 coulomb, 3 coulomb, 5 coulomb, anything. R is a distance, 2 meter, 3 meter, centimeter, meter, anything. So that is also constant. So all are constant. So nothing consists there. vector quantity. That's why it is a scalar quantity, and that final derivation is what? The electric potential due to a point charge is V is equal to kq upon r. This is the derivation which we proved with this thing. Okay, so we proved the electric potential due to a point charge. Okay. Now once again, I just repeat the starting steps to calculate the electric potential. So if you have any confusion, you can this revision will solve that. So just see the diagram again, and we just repeat this. So let's suppose you have two charges. One is Q, and one is, let's suppose, QC. They are separated, let's suppose, by distance x. I know from the rule that if two charges are there, definitely there will be some force. That is K, first charge. So P, first charge. So first charge is Q. Second charge multiplied by second charge. Second charge I just denote by Q0 instead of Q1, divided by the square of the distance between them. So this is your. So this is a vector quantity. So I just write it as. And from the rule we know that electric field intensity E is given as, very simply, it is force experienced by a charge at that point where we wish to calculate the electric field intensity. So because we wish to calculate the electric field intensity at Q0 point, which I have already been taught you, so it will become F is equal to KQ divided by x square only, because Q0 will be cancelled out by the denominator Q0. Okay. Now, what according to the definition, whenever we wish to move any point charge, that we wish to move the electric potential, any charge, then the work done which is needed to move that charge from one point to another point. One point is, let's suppose, the starting point is the reference point, to the another point. The another point is, let's suppose, any point. Then whatever the work done in between them against the opposite to the electric field. So that's why the opposite term is denoted by minus sign, and electric field we know that denoted by E. Because some work done is there, I mean some distance will be traveled. So there is a variable term, that's why integration sign will be there. And in the integration, differentiation term is related with a variable. And here the variable is denoted by the distance x. That's why it is dx. The upper and lower limit related with from which point you wish to move that charge and at what point you will want to move it. Okay, because here the differentiation term will show you the distance is a variable term. So which one is the starting distance? Let's suppose we wish to move that charge from infinitive position to any position which is separated at the distance r. Okay, so infinitive to r is the variables for that distance. Total distance is x, but in between that distance I wish to move that charge at position r, which was actually separated at a position infinity. Okay, so the starting position is infinitive. After the distance, starting distance or the starting position is infinity. After the distance x, there is another charge Q0, and after the distance r, it means I want to say that Q will move from the previous position infinitive to the new position r. So that's why the infinitive is related with dx initial position, that is distance initial position, and r is also related with dx last position, that is the position at which we wish to move. I just travel in the total distance. For example, let's suppose from Jaipur to Bihar is suited at 500 kilometers. Okay, I just reach up to Delhi. I just want to go to Bihar via Delhi, let's suppose. So Jaipur to Bihar is 500. The total distance is 500. Now I just go to Delhi, that is 200 kilometers. It means 200 is also a part of that 500. So the initial position is 0 because I start from Jaipur. What last position I reach? Which one is the variable? Variable is the distance. The final distance is 500 kilometers. But I reach only up to Delhi, that is 200 kilometers far apart from the Jaipur. That's why the initial point is 0 and the last point is 200, not the 500. Both 0 and 200 are the part of 500, but we cannot write down 590. Okay. So that's why we just write down the lower limit as infinity, upper limit as r. Okay. So I think you understand about the electric field lines, electric field intensity due to point charge, electric potential, and electric potential due to a point charge. Okay. Now we just see certain objective questions on this. Then we will close today class, and you will ask any question if you have. So just to see these objective questions first of all. Just highlight these things. Now we begin the objective questions. What kind of objective questions? So very simple kind of objective questions. Which one is the correct representation of electric field lines for a negative charge? So here a question is in front of you, that which one is the correct representation of electric field lines for a negative charge. Okay. So let's suppose you have a negative charge. So there are some directions, and we have to find out that which one is the correct direction. The second object consists like this. The third objective is given as the third choice is given as this one. And the fourth choice is given as yes. So can anyone say, you can type in message box if you have any answer, that which one is the correct representation of the electric field lines for a negative charge. Okay. So if anyone have the answer of this question, then you can type in message box, so I will see that answer. And if you are correct, then I will understand. None of you. Now I am telling you the answer. Juhi Khatun type C as the answer. Yes, very good, Juhi. C answer is correct, because the electric field lines for a negative charge is always towards the negative charge itself. Okay. In this first case, the electric field lines two are towards the negative charge, but two are outside from the negative charge. That's why this first choice is wrong. The second choice, all the field lines are outward direction. That is a denotation of the electric field lines for the positive charge. But here we are talking about the negative charge. The third one is the correct answer. The fourth one consists of both the inward and outward direction. That's why it is also wrong. Now the second question is, which one is the correct representation of the electric field lines for a positive charge? Then what should be the answer? For a positive, then what should be the answer? Yes. Definitely the answer is B. Very good. Definitely the answer is now B. Why the answer is B? Because we know that for the positive charge, the electric field lines must be outward from that charge. Instead of positive charge, let's suppose we have positive charge. What is the correct answer? The correct answer is B, because outward direction is presented in this choice. Okay. The next one is, Correct formula for the electric potential. Sorry, correct formula for the electric field intensity. Which one is the correct formula for the electric field intensity? See very carefully. Now, the first is KQ divided by KQQ0 divided by R square. KQ1 divided by R square. KQ2 divided by R square. Or KQ divided by R. Now, can anyone ask the answer of this question? Let's suppose you have 4 choices. Now, which one? Sagar type as B. Okay. Can anyone ask? Yes. I am waiting for your answer. Reply in the message box. Which should be the correct answer of this question? So all gives the answer wrong because the correct answer should be. See very carefully. First is completely wrong because availability of the 2 charges, that is a formula for the force. Second, we have one charge is cancelled, definitely it may be the answer. This is also correct, the answer second is also correct. Okay, this is a multi-choice, maybe more than one answer is correct. So both, because we don't know that which charge experienced the force. It may be Q1 experienced the force, it may be Q2 experienced the force. So we should keep in the mind the formula, that is K divided by distance square multiplied by charge which experienced the force. Okay, like this statement kind of formula we should keep in our mind. So K Q1 upon R square, it means it may be Q1 experienced the force. That's why your answer is correct. K Q2 upon R square, maybe according to the question Q2 experienced the force, because it is not mentioned that you have to find out the electric field intensity on Q2 or on Q0 or on Q1. That's why both the answer is correct. Okay. Now the next question is, which one is the correct formula for the electric field potential? Or we can say electric potential. Okay, electric field potential, or you can say electric potential. Definitely the answer will be, I just write down the answer with this orange color. See very carefully, KQ upon R. Why? As I have already been derived for the point charge, the electric potential is KQ upon R. What is the another term for the, if 2 opposite polarity charges are placed, then this can be termed as unipole, dipole, tripole, tetrapole. Then you should know that it is a dipole. Di means 2 and pole means polarity. That's what. Okay. So I hope you understand about the electric potential, electric field lines, electric potential due to point charge, electric field intensity due to point charge, and electric field lines. So I Rakesh Jain from Gyanyar University. Thanks. Want to say you thanks for watching this video. And if you have any query, you will ask important. Thank you very much.